to Dr. Jane Mackenzie Live Miracle Medicine on a Thursday. Today we have a very specific topic, and the webinar is entitled Longevity, Peptides and Cellular Rejuvenation. And this is really the key to longevity. And I'm going to be discussing what anti-aging really is, what peptides really are, what my replica RNA, DNA, 5 building block proteins are, why we need them, and the genetics involved in every single cell division, which is essential for rejuvenation, health, not only of each cell, but each tissue, each system, the entire body. So as usual, I'm talking about food state. I'm talking about holistic, plant-based nutrients, exactly in the natural state. We're not talking about a reductive situation where we're saying these are only for this part of the body. These are only for the thyroid. These are only for the pancreas. We are saying we are treating the body as an inclusive whole being. And within our body, we are in an environment and we are in the universe. So we need to always work with that much broader perspective of who and where we are. And, you know, how we get the body functioning to the level that we need it functioning at, to encourage a slow process of aging, you could say, but to ensure a high quality of life, no matter what your age, no matter where you live, no matter what your genetic profile looks like, and no matter what, I'm going to say, your emotional profile looks like, because we address all of that with my HIELO system. We're going to do the physical purification, neurological, emotional, and spiritual, and really get people, you know, living on a level that they really wanted to, in fact, a level that they never even knew existed. And, you know, what I can say is that's really my take on living, on the opportunity of spending time on the planet and, you know, acknowledging with gratitude the abundance and the opportunity to, in very simple terms, understand duality and bring it back into inclusive oneness and balance, as opposed to, you know, diametrically opposed poles. So we all asked for this opportunity to come and live in duality, and the end result being sort of a case of being there, done that. I now understand unity. I understand inclusivity. I understand the quantum field, the holistic field of universal wisdom, call it what you may. I now understand my placement in this, and thanks for the opportunity. So we come to this, the earth, with a mission, obviously, each person individual, with certain opportunities we want to achieve. Some people say they're mistakes, problems, mountains to climb, obstacles to get around, and that's actually really old paradigm. It's just very yesterday. We need to look at these things as opportunities to shift. And, you know, my view is that our ancient ancestors knew all this, and they passed it down. And in our generation, our evolutionary cycle, we decided to forget that, and that's okay too. Yeah, we are busy with news just about it every time we open up our phone or our computer or drive down the road. Information at our fingertips. We are rapidly putting this together. Of course, there's a lot of discernment, because you're going to get that. I mean, a lot of distortion. You're going to get that in a world of duality. We have to be incredibly discerning to understand all this, and then use our the information that we have, use our inner knowledge, our inner wisdom, to climb out of this box and look around and say, okay, fine, I have actually arrived. And it's an ongoing journey. It's not a destination. So our health will fluctuate as well, depending on what we're dealing with. But the ultimate key is to view our shifts as opportunities to grow in awareness, deepen into consciousness. And whilst we're doing all that, we want to be living a life filled with, that's geared towards longevity, cellular regeneration, and the peptides I'm going to be speaking about today. I will just open up the presentation so we can begin. And this is an extremely important aspect, the protein peptides. So bear with me. I am going to discuss it with you. And coming out of all of this, you can then decide, well, what is my plan of action coming out of this? How am I going to put this together? And I've said many, many, many times, we need minerals, we need oils, and we need proteins. We need a good probiotic. And after that, we can start looking at things like oxygen specifically, and organ cleansing, and system realignment, and emotional realignment. So let's look at the body as a battery, which it is, from a quantum physics point of view in particular, and let's piece everything together. So this, I've said it so many times, that this is a crucial presentation today. And, I'm presenting it under the umbrella of the 2026 Health Revolution. And my HIELO process, my holistic integrated epigenetic life orientation compass, and the 365 Healthy by Choice range of products, which are plant-based, food state, nutrient-dense, quantum structured, especially to heal. And, what goes on at my holistic global quantum wellbeing center here in Bryanston. And so let's begin. And feel free to ask questions. So what I'm going to share with you to start with is the actual problem. We're not aging naturally. And I think we can look at that quite obviously. There's lots and lots and lots of chronic disease. It's on the increase. It's been on the increase for ages. I've been talking about a paradigm shift since I can remember. And in fact, even in my pharmacy class, I knew there had to be a paradigm shift, because the paradigm that I was born into was not going to reach the destiny I was looking for in terms of people and health and well-being. So why are we aging really and specifically? Yes, with food, yes, environmental toxins, yes, all of that, causing things like cellular breakdown, not enough oxygen as well. Not enough body charge. The batteries are flat. And 6 out of 7 people have got a flat adrenals, flat battery, chronic fatigue. A person can't function if that's the case. Nutrient deficiency, we all know about that. And that's, again, our evolutionary cycle and how we decided to make nutrients. But we've got it really distorted, because the grossest form of nutrients is to eat food. There's much easier ways to bring nutrients into your body that do not require energy, physical digestion. We'll speak to you about that. And then, of course, we've got this emotional stress. And these are the emotional patterns that we brought through from generations before. And we have 2,500 years of measured time. Imagine what's gone on in just that measured time that we know of for all of us. There's been displacement. There's people who got onto boats and set sail. There's been hardship. There's been disease, famine. So we've all gone through, revolutions in our evolutionary cycle. And the longer this gathers in us as humanity, the worse it gets. So many of our ancestors, moms, dads, grannies, grandpas, probably took the problem into the grave. Your and my choice is, are we going to do that? Or are we going to climb out of the box, heal the emotions honorably, respectfully, not only for us, for our moms and dads, grannies and grandpas, and the future generations to come? You know, we've got to ask ourselves also my age-old question: are we the ancestors of an endangered species? And how do we change the legacy we leave our children and our children's children? And this has stuck with me for ages. And here's some solutions today. Moving on to the real truth about longevity. So it's all about cellular performance. And this is exactly what the Nelson Quantum Biofeedback measures. Vital statistics, the cellular performance, the cellular vitality. Needs to be 100%. And we're not talking about lifespan, we're talking about your health span. And this is something I'm introducing in the 2026 Health Generation Revolution. So the big key here is longevity, cellular performance, and we're talking about a health span. That we can manage, that we can deal with. Very, very important. So maybe I'm shifting your paradigms as well. Looking specifically at the root cause. So I have mentioned toxic overload, of course. I think there's something like 700,000 toxins that we can be exposed to on any one day. Imagine. And that's from nuclear toxins to chemical, environmental toxins, GMO, etc., etc. Deficiencies, of course, because with monocrop farming, factory farming, not caring for the fertility of the soil, you're going to get deficiencies. So we need to feed that soil properly so that it's going to grow healthy plants that are actually strong enough, have an immune system to ward off pests. Because a pest will go to a sick plant, like it will go to a sick person. Strong, healthy people with strong immunities, good emotional sense, balanced, not going to attract disease, because disease is catabolic, it's breakdown. So all it's doing is helping the body break down. But if you're strong and you've got a good immune system, a good peptide protein base, you're unlikely to attract disease. Here's the one, the emotional dysregulation. Absolutely 100%. I don't know anybody who's not stressed. I don't know anybody who doesn't have an emotional issue they need to deal with, an anger, a sadness, a fear, a hatred. And if you think it's you, then I want to see you walk on water. That's for absolute sure. And then we're sitting with mitochondrial decline. Why? Because we're sitting with blue light all over us all day long. Hardly stepping out, hardly getting the infrared and the ultraviolet beneficial rays from the sunshine. I sit here with my infrared panel permanently now. I've got my blue light reflective glasses permanently because I'm protecting my pineal gland, my face, my skin, my whole entire body. Blue light is worse than junk food. I'm just saying. So we know all of this now, and what happens is the mitochondria start declining, and once that starts happening, of course, the mitochondrial DNA starts to decline, and the body really loses it. We don't have enough energy. So it's not about aging, it's about cellular breakdown. Right, so we're getting that clear as well. In the 2026 Health Revolution this year. So let's have a look now specifically at cellular rejuvenation. So the body's made up of gazillions of cells, rejuvenating, undergoing replication at a rapid rate. And we need to repair this. And to repair it, the main constituent is protein, peptides. And once we've repaired the cellular rejuvenation, I'm talking about inside the nucleus of the cell, because the nucleus holds the DNA, the genetic material. Without the genetic material, we can't do much. It is the absolute starting point. It's the pivot point of any growth, cellular rejuvenation point. Every living cell has got a nucleus. Every living cell has got an RNA and a DNA. And the DNA happens and forms inside the nucleus. And without proper peptides, we can't, the signaling, the jump start of peptides, we can't rejuvenate the cell. It's not possible. As I say, we need the spark. And it's almost like you've got a jumper on with zip, and you imagine yourself with all the little teeth, and you zipping the jumper up and down. Those are all the little those are all the little genes inside your nucleus. The DNA is a double strand, and the zip's going up and down. And sometimes it gets stuck, and sometimes it comes off. We can't wear the jumper probably anymore, done up anymore. So just get a picture of the DNA as a jumper with a zip that gets pulled up and down and gets split and then reunited with the single strand RNA strand and forms a new one. So RNA is the building block, the replica RNA. Ribose, deoxy, and then we've got a deoxyribose as well. So there's the two sugars that make up the protein strand. The protein strand being made of what I've just said to you, the uracil, which is important for the RNA strand, and then the adenine, guanine, cytosine, thymidine. And I'm going to show you some more on that in a moment. But we need those 5 building block proteins, peptides, that will sort the entire body out. Can you imagine a wheel with these 5 in the middle branching out into every single amino acid protein sequence that the body needs? You don't need protein shakes anymore because you've got it all, and it's non-synthetic, it's natural. So how it's made is coming up soon. Then we can regenerate the cells, the tissues, the systems, and reprogram, get ourselves into perfect alignment. Have to do this. Don't think that that there's the one bottle that you're going to go and buy a thing. It's an integrated system. And this all happens within my HIELO process of benchmarking, looking at risks, looking at root causes, and then realignment. Reset, restore, rejuvenate, rejoice. That's the reprogramming. So where do peptides fit in, right? Peptides are the smaller than amino acids. They are these biological signaling molecules. They are that all the little teeth of the zip going up and down, and they're all coded. Adenine joins with thymidine, cytosine joins with guanine. Right. So they turn the healing on. That's the spark. You can have the Ferrari parked out there full of petrol. If you don't have the spark, it's not going to switch on. So most people are busy building their Ferrari, you see, and building their petrol. They don't understand you need the signaling, you need the spark, and the peptides do this. So after you've taken, and including taking your almost gold, your other minerals, your flaxseed oil to get the electrical potential across the cell membrane happening, your oxygen to get it inside the cell, you've charged the electrons with your minerals, you can then get the combination of the oxygen and the electrons and the proteins together in order to produce ATP, GTP, TTP, CTP. There's 4 forms of energy. Only one is ever spoken about, ATP. What a pity. So here I am educating you on all 4 because there's 4 peptides. Okay? And they are in an inclusive, unified field. There's nothing reductive that's happened here. And I'm going to tell you how they're made in a moment. So we need to focus on the right code, the right RNA code and the right DNA code, which happens, the DNA is inside the nucleus. So these are basically nuclear peptides, the origin, the spark of everything. The DNA controls everything in our body. So just understand that. Okay. And we don't want our zip to get stuck. And we want the Ferrari to fly. So this is how we're going to do it. And it's really, really simple. Otherwise, if the zip gets stuck or the DNA is not replicated properly, we're going to tend towards disease, disorder in the body. And that kind of thing you can look up anyway. By the way, with using the NQP device, which I use, there are DNA programs to bring in these peptides, reform the DNA back to how it's meant to be, measurable, and it's doing it across every single gene loci. It's not just a few, harvesting a few. Your ability to metabolize this or that, that's just also yesterday talk. We're dealing with the whole body, all the genes, all the gene loci, and looking at prevention. So prevention is key. It's the age of prevention. 2026, the health revolution. We've got to go there. We've got to eat according to building the building blocks in the body. Where else do we find these little peptides? We find them in organic sprouts. We find them in organic soaked nuts and seeds. We find them in organic fruit. We find them in medicinal mushrooms, reishi, chaga, shiitake, cordyceps, lion's mane. We find them in the bee products, pollen, propolis, raw jelly. We find them in the algae products, blue-green, chlorella, spirulina. I have all of these in the 365 Healthy by Choice range. Mushroom mix, a bee mix, algae mix. We find them all in there. So I've really mastered this, and that's how I eat. I eat on this level. I've talked about it before. Dairy and green juices are sitting at about 6 on the Bover scale. The foods I've just talked about are sitting on about 9 on the Bover scale. Extrapolating that forward, you're talking about a sacred site sitting at about 13 Armstrong on the Bover scale. My almost gold sits at 23 Armstrong on the Bover scale. So we're coming to almost gold. This is where we need to be, because we're electrical beings. We're batteries. We need to be charged. We need electron flow. We need oxygen. We need peptides. We need probiotics. So let's listen further. So the biological signaling is absolutely critical. It's absolutely critical. And that's going to support repair, fat metabolism, all sorts of metabolism, and any cellular regeneration pathway that's undergoing what would be termed anti-aging. So peptide signal, and the system enables it. We need to have the support of the system. So here we have, this is my 365 Healthy by Choice product. I'm going to explain to you in detail. But this is the replica RNA DNA. There are the peptides, the nuclear peptides, uracil, adenine, guanine, thymidine, cytosine. Bound to a sugar and bound to a phosphate. That's technical. This is all you need to remember. So these little peptides are the little teeth in the zip. And we can't have snips. We can't have missing ones. That's going to end up in disease. So what you're doing by taking replica RNA DNA from infant to elderly is ensuring that every single genetic reproduction sequence is perfect. And they do more than this. They enhance immunity. I'll speak to you in a moment. But let's get the coding perfect. And here's the slide. What are these peptides? So they are rapid acting, next generation, metabiotic acting directly on the immune receptors. Does not have to be alive. We use an EU registered yeast fermented, which breaks down cell walls and releases the individual nucleotides. Wow. So we've got all these individual nucleotides made from the fermented yeast, and they are the building blocks of the DNA. The yeast breaks down the cell wall. The fermentation breaks down the cell wall, and releases these individual nucleotides. Wow, this is powerful. So now we've got the building blocks of DNA in every single protein requirement in the body, every single amino acid, written down, known, unknown, gets created. Right, and they also called nucleotides, nucleopeptides. They're designed for immediate immune system support, used in the top cancer clinics in America. I actually first came across these in Russia when I went to visit. I first heard about this. So it's world over, east and west. Why? Because a person that's in a diseased state needs to grow, repair, regenerate. If you don't have protein, it's not going to happen. You will build your Ferrari and you'll build the petrol. You'll fill it with petrol. It's still not going to signal, still not going to have a response. We need the DNA to start moving. Not only normal DNA, the mitochondrial DNA as well in particular, which red light also activates. So it's designed for immediate immune system support, antiviral, antibacterial, all the antis, defense, environmental stresses, and reduce inflammation. So again, this is where it's used. Most people that are undergoing severe disease are immune compromised as well. Fast-acting cell wall fragments that mimic the natural gut immune signaling of immune mediator cells, the cytokines and the immunoglobulins, offering benefits faster than traditional probiotics. Just saying. So known to stimulate interferons, which are essential for viral, bacterial, fungal defense, etc. And of course, they're safe, they're non-GMO, they're dairy-free, they're gluten-free, and they're free of everything. It's just a natural powdered version of the cell wall breakdown into the peptides. It's a powdered form of peptides. These will deal with your thyroid, with your pancreas, with your circulation, with your vessel membranes, with your lung membrane, with your gut mucous membrane, with your brain rehabilitation. These will bring in the stem cells to regenerate, because the stem cell needs the peptides. All proteins need peptides. Hormones need peptides. Neurotransmitters need peptides. Enzymes need peptides. So imagine what's happening, what's going on. And easily assimilated, absorbed, and put to use. They don't need to be digested. I can say that. So in the blood, they travel to where they need to be and they get going. So it's like an added huge immune boost, together with perfect cell division, perfect DNA. I don't know, I found this mind-blowing. Right, so let's just go back to here a second. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Now is when I start talking about integration. Why they're not alone enough. So we need to still build the Ferrari and fill it with petrol, obviously. So we need to look at nutrient-dense systems, detox pathways, and emotional recalibration. And I bring in here the HIELO process and the 365 Healthy by Choice nutrients. Need to have all of this working together in conjunction. The primary step is the DNA in the nucleus, the cell division. That is the primary number one start. That is the spark to get all of this going. So now we're talking about the support, natural support, plant-based, food state, nutrient-dense, quantum structured. When it's quantum structured exactly as nature intended, then it will work with the body, the mind, the emotion, and the spirit as well. The NQB device is a holistic device, also physical, neurological, emotional, spiritual. When I'm working with the HOW, holistic ancestral orientation, emotional release, I'm working in the quantum field, the field of wisdom, universal field, looking at physical, neurological, emotional, and spiritual. All goes together. That is holism. That is holistic health. No other way. Holistic health is not combining yoga and nutrients and exercise and shiatsu and infrared treatment. That's not holistic. Holistic is working in the universal field with the existential field, not only this world of duality that we're living in as an experience. So this is why we've got to look specifically now at my HIELO system, where we reset, we repair, we rebuild, and it's a structured, precision-based benchmarking of your risk factors, looking at the root causes and realignment. Repeat benchmarking. What are the health risks now? What are the causes that need to be removed now? Retesting again. So that is how we get through reset, restore, rejuvenate, and the rejoice phase. And those patients that come in that are in the rejoice phase, you can see it. They fly in here, their face is shining. They're telling me they're having the best days they've ever had. Put the oxymeter on them, that's reading 98. I do their scans for them. They're nearly in the green on my Q450 machine. If I put them on the NQB and the quantum device, I'm getting risk factors that are really close to 100, not far apart like usual. There's a reduction in the acute and the chronic risks. So the evidence is there. This is evidence-based medicine. It's in the behavior. It's in the research. It's in the measurement. So we've got to bring in the structured, guided, measurable approach. So what are we going to be combining with these peptides? We're definitely going to bring in the minerals from the Almost Gold, silver, copper, nickel, all the platinum, precious metal minerals, because Almost Gold, I told you, it's got that really high by 23,000 measurement on the Angstrom. This works, it's M-state gold, silver, copper, so it's in the liquid form, and it works as subtle energy. You don't need digestion. I mean, it will get absorbed through your mucous membrane in your mouth, through your skin, and it just goes in there. I mean, if you can imagine, gold is the strongest detox element on the periodic table. Never mind iridium, palladium, ruthenium, ones you probably haven't even heard of yet. So that's a definite one to come in and support on an energetic level, to clear, to detox, like I said earlier, and support. It grows the telomeres. It's also working on the nuclear and on the nucleus, there, right there with the nucleotides. So the replica RNA, DNA, if you are 50 kilos and under, 500 milligram capsules a day. 50 to 70 kilos, 500 milligram capsules a day. Imagine. The results are quick, they're immediate. And I've got lots of scientific studies. Olympic swimmers that have collapsed within 2 days of taking the RNA, DNA replica, they're back training again after lung collapse. Imagine. So I'm going to talk about that in my case study just now. So Almost Gold is critical to integrate. And then we're going to bring in also the probiotics, the microbiome reset. That's got over 80 live strains and substrains. So just imagine you're going to be rebuilding your own unique army. Your 75% of your immunity is built with the probiotics in the gut. Now you've got a huge extra bag of immunity coming in from the replica RNA, DNA. And because of the frequencies and all the rest of it, we are working also with the bone marrow to produce the white blood cells, T cells, NKT killer cells to boost our immunity. So we've got a wonderful structured approach here, integrated, and we've got our minerals. You can also bring in my shilajit, you can bring in my Irish sea moss, wonderful nutrients as well on a different level to the Almost Gold. And then we're going to bring in the cell oxygen. So the Almost Gold, by the way, it's a battery pack. It's going to charge those electrons for you. All those superconductive minerals, they put the light on. They're also signaling. They're also getting the body ignited. Imagine. Now we've got charged electrons and we're bringing in extra oxygen because some people are compromised. Either they're suffering huge grief and sadness and depression, or the lungs compromised. There's mucus all over it. They're full of dis-ease. So that every breath they're taking is not 100% oxygen getting transferred through to the blood and then into the cell. So we have to work on oxygen, extra oxygen in the beginning. And when the oxygen gets into the cell and binds with the charged electrons with the protein peptides there, we're going to get ATP, TTP, CTP, and GTP. Keeping this simple because it must be simple. We don't have to get hugely scientific here. Most of the peptides on the market are synthetic. So you need to understand that they're made in a lab. And this is key and critical. Understand this. Don't get, knocked sideways. Don't believe all the distortion. Once you make something that's synthetic and you introduce it to your body, it is not in the quantum state, first of all. The body has to re-engineer it to be able to use some of it. So yes, it's going to work some of it, but what are the consequences? And those peptides are also often chelated or have another substance added to it in order to get it absorbed and then get it to the target site where it needs to be. So you take your chances and make your choices. Today I'm simplifying it for you and I'm giving it to you as it is. You don't need to do any course. This is the reality. I don't want anything synthetic near me because it's going to change my nature. I want quantum state nutrients near me. What is a quantum state nutrient? A nutrient that's in a torsion field that's got a vortex, spiraling vortex, double vortex, like me, like my heart, like my DNA, where prisms of light can pass through. That's what I'm looking for, and that's what I hope for you. So don't say to me, I've got this, I've got that, this disease, this disorder. You need replica RNA DNA. You need Ormus Gold. You need probiotic. You need oxygen. You need to eat the foods I mentioned earlier. It's an integrated process. The spark or the peptides. So let's get back to where we were here. So these are starting blocks. There's 4 major products here with a starting block. The one product I'm going to remind you of is the flaxseed oil. Needs to be there because it creates the electrical potential across the cell membrane, across the mucous membrane of the gut and the lungs. This is the scientific study where the Olympic athlete returned to normal in 2 days. The quantum physics became correct within the battery of the body. The body electric. The electromagnetic field, the torsion field restored. That's the science part for the science people. So I've got a nice reset kit here. I never spoke about the DMSO either, but just shortly on that as well. Dimethyl sulfoxide, which is plant tree sap, which is you put that into water if you've got plasma water. But it's a massive solvent, DMSO. So it's going to also just detox and clear along with the oxygen products. This is all on my website, www.365healthybychoice.com. Use the search bar at the top if you can't find the products. Put their names in and it will pop up. Often I've got 2 or 3 or 4 different sizes. So choose what you want. You can add it to the cart and check out, and we deliver overnight in South Africa. And if it's overseas, it might take 3 to 4 to 5 days, depending where you live. And that's it. It couldn't be simpler. So overseas people, you key in your address and it's done. Your delivery fee is there. You pay, and it's automated on my side. I click, print, produce the label, and you're done. All right, and we must all get onto this way of ordering because this is the quickest way. So this is a way to start, begin, measure, keep remeasuring and remeasuring, building your Ferrari, filling up with petrol, clearing your emotions with the spark of the replica RNA DNA. I don't know how you're going to actually get healed if you don't have the peptides. It's not going to happen. You're not going to be able to regenerate. Not going to happen because the same old cell, the same old genetic sequence with the disease in it is going to carry on. How do you revive a tissue where the cells are staying the same? You tell me. So he has a good case of chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, just what I've been speaking about. And on Sunday, I will post this case study specifically because we used loads of replica RNA DNA on this man. He could hardly breathe. So he came in, and the first thing I did was put some oxygen in a plate. And within minutes, he could actually breathe and he could speak because we couldn't hear him. Literally, that's what happened, just bringing the oxygen in. Put him on the NQB machine and started doing assessments for him. His oxygen was incredibly low, 41% inside the cell. How's that ever going to happen? How are you ever going to combine? Never mind, his adrenals were sitting at something like also 57% charge. So you've got low electron charge, you've got low oxygen in the cell, clearly not the peptides that he needed. How was he ever going to climb out of this box? So we started feeding him with the NQB device and detoxifying him, realigning him. And by the end of the hour, I did a retest on the NQB machine. We'd already improved. He'd already improved. So a little bit more color in his face, a bit more shine coming through. The energy had increased, and the man was exceptionally thin. And of course, he'd had this for a long time and hadn't really dealt with it. I could see his brain, there was more clear, there was more energy, more harmony within him. And we'd looked at and addressed many of the biomarkers. This is crucial. If you don't act with a structured precision process, which the HIELO process does, I don't know where you are. It's guesswork. And we really are beyond guesswork. We are beyond belief. We are beyond knowledge. We are working with wisdom. And that's the HIELO process. So to take you, along this chap's journey, we put him on the IV oxygen drips. We did 3 of those 3-hour slow oxygen infusions. Each infusion, he had quantum leaped in his improvement. By the end of the 3rd one, and the oxygen during the days that he wasn't here on oral level, and foot soaks and all sorts of things, the nutrients coming in, the peri-immune for parasite herbal as well, antioxidant, the glutathione plus vitamin C that I have, and whatever else he needed, minerals. This man was beaming. It was absolutely incredible. He couldn't believe it. The nurses that work for me can't believe it either. So he's just one of many people that we give them the starting block. We give them the replica RNA, DNA. We give them the electrical charge. We give them the oxygen through to the cell. And suddenly the cell division becomes more perfect and the health returns. It's literally as simple as that. So those of you practitioners out there, those of you that are, following your own health and getting to higher levels yourself, I've given it to you in writing today. And, obviously the probiotic, the flaxseed oil. So very, very important. And then this man then went back. He wasn't from South Africa, went back to his home. And we did a retest just about 2 weeks ago, and I'll do another one in 2 weeks' time, probably 3 on the quantum machine, and this man is A for away. So how is that reversal? I think it's just on another level. Natural, the power of nature, the power of using quantum structured nutrients that the body can recognize and use, and with a holistic framework. And I did the emotional, holistic, ancestral orientation with them too. So I've got the results to show. And here's the slide on this emotional cellular link. Everything's integrated. So stress causes cellular damage. And once we heal the body on an emotional level, it's palpable. I can see it in front of me. The life force starts circulating. The body, the face, you can see the life force in the face. You can see the circulation. You can see the change in the physique in the person. That's a biological shift. That's definitive. That means you shifted. Alchemically, you've shifted. The life force is moving through you. So it's getting to the root cause beyond the physical. It's even beyond the startup of the Ferrari with the petrol. The root cause. So that's the holistic ancestral orientation. Repeated generational patterns, if I can put it simply. For example, Granny had diabetes, so did her daughter, so did her daughter. But the daughter got it at 20, the mother got it at 40, and the granny got it at 60. They ate the same food, continued eating the same food. In fact, it got worse. More fried food, more starch, more sugar, more sweets, more white bread. Yeah, I mean, the body can only do so much. It can only clear so many of the toxins. If we overload it, you're going to have that zip and the jumper getting stuck all over the place. You're prone to disease. You're prone to emotional disorders. So this is how we do it. Getting to the root cause beyond the physical root cause. Just not difficult to understand, I'm sure. And we're using this, my quantum well-being compass to do that. Iterative processes keep on going through. So I want to make this very clear. I'm not talking about wellness here. It's way beyond. I'm talking about well-being, holistic well-being in the quantum field, the universal field of wisdom, the existential field. Working with clinical precision, prevention, working with integrity, authenticity in a design system that's worked for me for years and years and years and years. So this is the situation. What's going to happen next? So here's my solution for you. Longevity is not about living longer. We talked earlier. It's about the health span. It's about living powerfully at a cellular level. And that requires structure, precision, and the right system. If you're ready to move from reacting to your health to leading it, then the next step is simple. Join the 2026 Health Revolution. I post everything on my YouTube channel, Dr. Jane Mackenzie. There's almost close to 400 educational videos there now. So you can learn whatever you need to learn, digest whatever you need to digest. Use the search bar. Put the products in. You're going to get your information. On my website, I've got blogs. I've got also a library. And within each product, you're going to learn a lot. So join the 2026 Health Revolution. I'm really out this year to demystify things and give it to you simply. You know, I can't do that part for you. I can take the horse to water, and I'm also not going to heal you. You will heal you. Please understand that it's in my indemnity form. That's old paradigm where you hand your power over to someone to heal you. Never. They can't. They're not you. Don't also think that someone's going to produce a diet for you. Give you a diet plan. I've never in my life heard of anything like that. We intuitive living beings, and we're working with a sense of what's here and now. I don't want egg on a Thursday. But my program says eat egg on a Thursday. I mean, how? It's not going to happen like that. I'll never do that for people. I'll give them choices and I'll say, you decide. Go and shop, have things available into your home, and you decide what you need right now. Early in the morning, I'm not sure what I'm going to have in the evening. I'm going to see when I go into my kitchen. So we need to start getting back to intuition. So what I'm suggesting is book your assessment. There's a WhatsApp number to book, and at the bottom there's also www.365healthybychoice.com, and you go to book center. You either come in person or you choose a virtual, and you book your appointment. There and then it comes through. You get an email, I get an email. It's confirmed. Start your reset now. Let's not wait. Here's a classic example. Did a scan for a lady. The gallbladder was in the red, chronic. And I said to her, look, if you leave this, or the people that leave this, that you can end up at the ER with your gallbladder getting whipped out. Here's the solution. Here's what you do. Well, three years later of doing nothing, the gallbladder was whipped out, emergency. The next thing, she's knocking on my door. Just saying, your health is your journey. I can't do that for you. I can't book your appointment, and I can't, eat for you. And then let's bring true cellular transformation. That's what I'm about. It all happens at the cellular level. And I hope that I have shared with you, the very best of my knowledge, up to date, leading edge, pioneered, tested, evidence-based. And I have, the hundreds and thousands of testimonies to prove this. So let's enjoy this 2026 health revolution. I'm going to be bringing more and more of this to you. Lots of case studies, and lots of enlightening information, practical truth, authenticity. And I think I speak from my own experience. I walk the talk, those of you who know me, and why would it be any different? And with greater clarity, greater understanding, more access to wisdom, more comes to me, which I share. And I learn from you as you learn from me. So we're all part of an integrated team here. And I want to honor and thank all of you who have walked this road and achieved the levels of health maybe you expected or beyond your expectations. So I do honor all of you. And thank you so much for being, part of this journey with me. And I thank you all too. So there's going to be more information coming through, and we'll meet up again online next Thursday. Anything else, direct message me, and any questions you have. Go well.